And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 344. Today is Thursday, February 14th. I was going to say happy Valentine's Day, I guess.
To all the lovers out there.
To all the lovers out there. And as we say happy Valentine's Day, let me ensure I also give an early happy Sweeties Day. For those who don't know what that is, check that out. That's up in the Midwest. But it's basically Valentine's Day for men as well. So for the fellas out there, it comes back to us as well.
Oh, yeah. And I'm Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
I don't think I introduced myself either. I'm King. It's raining today in Southern California. And, of course, the comments are loading in. That is right. Of course, with the rain. Today's top story of the day, of course, we'll be covering it. Our resident Dino Diamond, JPMorgan. Dino Diamond is back in the news with Chase and his coin. We'll be covering South Korea's, their largest telecom company to develop a local crypto. California governors talk blockchain, data privacy, and the state of state speech. Indonesia sparked some anger, outrage through traders after they tell you how much of a capital requirement you need for Bitcoin futures. CFTC's first published 2019 examination, as well as their argument with the SEC. And last but not least, we'll be talking about Coinbase, which gave out a $30,000 reward for a critical bug. But first, the cryptic coin winner for yesterday.
Oh, yeah. So our winner from yesterday is PFC Wells, a.k.a. Trek. We have an actual conversation coming out with him soon, so shout out to him for the comment. Based on our question, which was about Coinbase allowing private keys to be stored on the Google or iCloud platform, we basically disagreed with it, and he does as well. He said he would not be surprised if they have a government backdoor to steal your funds, just in case you're being a bad boy or bad girl. So thank you for that comment, PFC Wells. You will receive those crypto coins on Friday.
What? The government doing something? Not true. All right, this is a fair warning to all the listeners and our viewers today on YouTube, our podcast listeners. It's not a lot of good news going on today, all right? I mean, as you can see, it's kind of dark in here. I think the rain foreshadows today's news, but we want to prepare you. We're going to make light of it. We're going to have some fun. But the bottom line is that there's a lot of muckery going on in the crypto industry right now with the help of big institutions. And of course, that first one in the top story of the day, JPMorgan Chase to launch JPM coin.
What in the
using crypto to speed settlements.
God, what is going on?
Listen, people, you don't understand the pain of this story. We have literally had clients tell us after the infamous JPMorgan, what's the guy's name? Dino Diamond, what's his first name? I can't think. Yeah, Jamie Dimon. After his infamous Bitcoin is a fraud thing, you know, we called him out on this back in 2017. We said not only were his remarks fraudulent, but they were also insider trading. I mean, it was illegal what he did, especially him having a huge company the way he does and all these investors. But if you don't believe it, you can watch this on YouTube. Even go back to it. You can listen in. This is us, and it's pretty funny. You can tell how old it actually looks. But this was us back in 2017 on episode 6 of our show, the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 6. And this is what we had to say about Jamie Dimon. I think this was September 13th, 2017.
What banks want to do, you know, JPMorgan, Jamie Dimon, and some of these other big companies and organizations, what they want to do is separate blockchain from Bitcoin. They want those to be two separate entities because technically they feel like they can just use the blockchain technology and create their own version of Bitcoin instead of it will still be owned by the banks and government. But they know if they do that early enough, and they do a lot of marketing and all that, people will fall for it. They'll just tell you, hey, this is the JPMorgan coin. You'll still have your bank account with it. You don't need to worry. And people will fall for it. Whereas the technology is already there. Exactly. And I personally...
Wow.
Talk about a prediction.
Back in 2017. If you want to get even creepier, actually, you can check us out on Lamar's shows and Coin the Group on Facebook. From yesterday, he had us on his show live. And again, yesterday, we literally just got done mentioning JPMorgan as one of the prime people probably to get the ETF first because the government's going to either usher them in or Gemini and Coinbase in. So, I mean...
24 hours later, and we were right.
Literally 24 hours later, we mentioned these guys.
We told you wake up and stuff just happens.
And this is the problem. And this is again, this isn't like some personal beef with Dino Diamond. It's just from a professional point of view. And again, we get what he's doing as a business. But for the small businesses in this industry, when when you're trying to get stuff started, you have businesses going, and then this guy makes a blanket statement like that. Do you know how many clients we literally had the same day he made the statement, calling and emailing, well, Jamie Dimon said this, and JPMorgan and banks or government are saying this, and it's like he is literally committing fraud and a crime on national TV. And I think one country actually called him out for it back in the day. I can't remember who.
Yeah, I mean, and Jamie Dimon, of course, he's had his way. But really, what I want to really point out about this story, because for one, it's not a cryptocurrency. That is an inaccurate title from the journalist that actually wrote it. If you saw some of the articles that were coming out, for one, it's not a cryptocurrency. It's a stable coin, essentially, an IOU, if you will, where you can essentially say, hey, the JPMorgan coin used for payments instead of my cash. So the dishonesty of the journalists, because it is funny that the news came out that they're releasing the coin today, and they had an article paired ready for it, already ready to come out on this beautiful Valentine's Day.
JPMorgan wrote the article for everybody. Yeah, they were just like, and here's a free article, you all just publish it.
Oh yeah, and sticking true to our word, we did a little digging on the author, because that is very important when you read these articles. A lot of authors are very biased when you look at mainstream media, and this particular author, Ben Walsh, actually looked into his background, and it seems to have a history of writing negative articles about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. And let's just throw out a couple of the article names. For one, he had one saying the future of blockchain is boring. He actually wrote about why blockchain won't actually help to speed up remittances. He says it's time to buy Bank of America from there. And then he also talked about why does Bitcoin keep falling? No one really knows. So this guy has a history of writing about banks being better, crypto being bad. And then he comes out with JPMorgan killed Bitcoin. Not really, because it has no similar use case. So shout out to Ben Walsh for sticking with your with your JPMorgan guns, because that's the only way they're gonna get this out. Nobody's really gonna use it.
This is crazy. I mean, honestly, when you look at again, JPMorgan came out, and I guess, or some of their camp is coming out saying, well, this is to go against Ripple. We're going against Swift. We're going against everybody who wants to do the intra-bank transfers. Oh, Crypto Head, thank you for the tip. Much appreciated. Crypto Head said JPMorgan won't be decentralized, nor does anyone trust them, for sure. And that's the thing, when it comes to these companies, whatever, and they're saying we're only going after the Ripples, we're only going after the Swifts, we only want to do intra-banking things, because they even put it out in their press release. Basically, JPMorgan said that, hey, even if we only use this for our own clients alone, we'll be fine. So, I mean, they already, if you're a client of JPMorgan Chase, they're already telling you whether you want to or not, you're going to use this technology. And regardless, again, they just want to add another layer, another derivative, another way to get paid, another way to charge fees. It is literally nothing different than what they're doing right now with fiat currency, except now they own 100% of it. But again, them saying they're just trying to kill Ripple off or go after Swift, that's the lie, people. What they really mean is our first goal is to kill Ripple and Swift off. And then once we do that and become large enough, we're coming for you, Bitcoin, as well. But they don't want to come out and say straight up, we're going, of course, we're going at Bitcoin and blockchain technology.
Of course not, because they can't beat it. Can't beat them, join them, so to say. But yeah,
and he'll probably go to jail at this point for it. Who knows?
Man, the manipulation is ridiculous. But yeah, RIP Ripple. Ripple may be out of here, because this was their use case. They were basically arguing that they had a faster system, and if JPMorgan comes around, I'm sure the bigger banks are going to join JPMorgan before Ripple, because
this was about to turn to the old boys and girls club. What we say? We actually said this yesterday when we were talking about JPMorgan Chase. We were like, they're gonna look for that fraternal mark on your wrist. They don't see it. They're gonna be like, oh, you're at the wrong spot. So, and unfortunately, that's gonna be Ripple. Hopefully, they have enough money stacked away to fight this war. But this is a different type of war. When you got the old guard, like I said, JPMorgan, he's gonna get at least 3 or 4 other big banks on his side.
Of course. Come on, guys, golf together. You not gonna join me?
Yeah, you all can take a percentage of our coin. All right, one coin, one bank. All right, let's do this together. Ripple will be in some trouble. What's going on, the crypto head Antonio? Hey, happy belated birthday to Antonio from the UK, one of our in-house moderators. Everybody make sure you shout him out.
Shout out to you. Happy birthday,
Happy
brother.
birthday. Tony Nolly, Evan, what's going on? Tessa, good morning, good morning. Kevin Hodges, Donald Muhammad. Yes, smash that like and share button, people.
Yeah, make sure you share it on Facebook as well as a watch party.
Real. Let's see. Allison, Carlos. Who else we had? Tessa said Jamie Dimon was the loudest dog barking against crypto last few years, and look at him now, hot mess.
What do they always say? Hit dogs holler.
There you go.
he already saw it. I have to change our business model, so I have to say something about this competing, force of Bitcoin. So.
Right. Crypto Head, thanks for the tip again. We appreciate it. They want to be the first to promote the word cryptocurrency, like other companies use the word organic. Yeah. So if you all actually go back. Again, you can check it out yesterday's on Lamar's channel as well, Coinda on Facebook, or if you go back to our 6th episode, September 13th, the one we were just talking about, we go kind of in detail about this, about the cyber war that's been ongoing as of now, as well as Jamie Dimon. But that's one of the things we said. A part of the marketing plan, these big banks and institutions, and even the government, is to hijack the verbiage we use now.
Yep.
They want to hijack the word cryptocurrency, blockchain. They want to hijack all these words.
They want to say it's all the same thing,
and then remarket it as them being the creators of it. And that's what's going to happen again. This is literally 2 years later, people. And even back then, we said this market moves every 2 years, and the reason why is because that's how long it usually takes for, regardless you have a new technology or product coming out, or if you're trying to get a new ETF or whatever passed, you're usually looking at a 2 year cycle.
Yeah.
So literally, we're seeing 2 years later after this, when we even said he was going to come out with this coin, he comes out with it. I guarantee you, give him another 2 or 3 years, and then they're going to be saying, "Hey, we were some of the early adopters of cryptocurrency. We started the blockchain system as you see it now." I mean, that will literally be the verbiage.
We have patents.
Yeah,
that's what the patents
we've had
are
the
for.
50 patents now. We have the most regulated patents on the market.
Yep.
We started this whole blockchain.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout.
Yeah.
Some more quick shout outs.
Satoshi is somewhere super hurt right now. Like
GSH everything. Is that how these people work? Talk bad about you, then want to join you? Of course.
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
That's how they have to do it.
What's going on? Crypto Key, Dylan, Fed the Realtor. All right, the chat box is popping today, so hello all. But to get on, that's another JPMorgan coin. Hey, it is what it is, people. Use this as a test case because they're not going to be the last. You think Bank of America is not going to throw their name in the hat? I mean, we're looking at an economic crisis that's impending that even the banks, governments have been starting to warn people about, have been writing about this as being a big security risk. But once that happens and banks consolidate again, we saw this at the last crisis, all the banks consolidated, the government bought up some banks which we don't even know about yet that are nationalized, or a percentage of them are. But once this next big financial crisis happens again and they consolidate even more, those 2 or 3 main ones that are standing, like the JPMorgans, which probably will stay standing, they're going to be the ones to say, all right, let's get these 2 or 3 coins going, and we're going to stick with it. So,
yeah. This is a crazy day.
We're literally watching the history being made in front of us.
Right in front of us.
Financial history.
Enjoy it, people. Because
Right.
one day you're gonna look back and say, I was sitting there looking at these 2 random dudes talking about JPMorgan,
Right.
and they changed the world. So,
but similar news to private institutions creating cryptocurrencies. South Korea's largest telecom company to develop local crypto has been reported.
Wow.
That is right. And the way this story is reading sounds nefarious. It looks like South Korea's leading telecommunications company, KT Corporation. Is that not like E Corp or Mr. Robot?
Come on, man. How ambiguous do you have to be?
Right. Has been selected to develop Who selected them? To develop a local cryptocurrency in the South Korean city of Gimpo. Local media outlet ZDNet Korea reports on February 14th. And it's all happening today. What's going on with this one?
Oh, yeah. Well, this crypto, actually dubbed K-Token, will reportedly be introduced in April after the pilot project is carried out next month in March. They plan to issue 11 billion won, or in our terms, 9.7 million, worth of the currency each year. And we don't know if they'll have a set supply. We don't know if they'll print more. However, this token will come out. They'll allow payments with QR codes. They call it a blockchain-based currency because it truly isn't a cryptocurrency. If you can't freely mine it, if you can't use your own resources to mine it, it's not a cryptocurrency. It's a digital currency, and it's just a buzzword that people use right now, especially in South Korea, because if you throw out blockchain or anything, those companies jump on it. So this looks like the plan they will use for their local residents to use it. We've seen this this plan in Berkeley, California be thrown out. We've seen it in other small communities around the U.S. In Florida, I believe it's one, in Texas as well, where small communities, they have a whole street or a whole neighborhood where they use the same currency, same token, and you can just use QR codes to pay it. So it is a step in the right direction for adoption. However, a true cryptocurrency, we may not see that for a while in the city, because people that are in control are just not going to let that happen.
Well, and then here it says KT plans to expand the crypto to local governments that have agreed to try the scheme. Appropriate use of the word here in this article based on the coin's performance in Genpo. Again, it's just the similarities between this and the Mr. Robot show. I mean, it's literally KT Corp has been sanctioned to create a coin for the city. When it comes to all these coins, whether it's the JPMorgan coin, the KT Corp, the K coin or whatever, the K token, think about how we do traditional coins or traditional projects when they come out, like ICOs, right? You can, some people can go in early and pre-buy a bunch of tokens. You get the head start. They're doing the same thing on this end. JPMorgan, when they had their JPM coin, it will be the same thing. Early investors will be allowed to get in, except now it's going to be even more regulated. It's going to be even more structured. They're going to have it all legally too. Well, you don't have $30 million. Well, I'm sorry, you can't get in on this private coin. Oh, by the way, the government says this is the only coin you're allowed to use, by the way, as well. So I expect this to happen with the JPMorgan coin as well as this K token. Again,
keep creating these tokens.
Why else? Exactly. Why else would they want to create a token? You have to ask yourself that.
Exactly. Keep creating them, because people are gonna start seeing through it. Like, okay, so y'all made it. Why? We already have this whole industry.
I hope.
Going.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope
people will. I think.
I hope.
But it may take some time.
Yeah, it'll definitely take time. But always ask yourself that. People like, why is this token being created? Because when it comes to the city and all that, and everybody, or even the JPMorgans, there's already a blockchain that you can use for all this stuff, and with a working token, and it's transparent, and no one owns all of it, and it's called Bitcoin. So always ask yourself that. Speaking of governments, though, we're going to come back to the U.S. for a little bit and talk about the California governor who's talking blockchain and data privacy in State of the State speech. What is Gavin Newsom raging on about?
Oh, yeah. Well, in his speech, he kept it, pretty, in between the lines. He didn't really go out there, but he did mention that California needs a comprehensive statewide strategy to uplift and upskill our workers, to ensure technological advancements in AI, blockchain, big data are creating jobs, not destroying them, and to reform our institutions so that more workers have an ownership stake in their sweat equity. So all that word soup basically to make itself sound good, but he did throw in blockchain. So that is one of the things we want to focus on, is that this technology is not going away. You have people saying it in their State of the State speeches.
Right.
We somehow can't get it in the State of the Union speech. At some point, we're going to get it. Trump is going to say something. But honestly, this gives exposure, because the more people hear the word, the more people see it, this will bring them into the industry. So shout out to him for mentioning it. I have seen how California lawmakers have gone against Bitcoin, though. So don't be fooled. It's not like he's on the Bitcoin train. He's full time. He did try and accept it for donations, I will say, but blockchain technology is what they want to focus on.
Well, what I will say too, again, here's a double-edged sword. People, it's like you don't not want to work with the government. Of course, you want to work with them and get things done. It's just that they always have ulterior motives. That once their train gets moving, you're not stopping and slowing it down. And one of the things here that on the surface, and it looks good, especially that he's talking about blockchain. I'm about to bring this up. It kind of looks good on the surface. When you dive deeper into it, again, I understand where they're coming from. Everybody's thinking from a business point of view. Even a bureaucrat, they're thinking, how can we help the bureaucracy, right? But Newsom also pointing out that the state citizens should be able to benefit from sharing their personal information online on online sites and services. That's talking about the Facebooks, of course, that's based out here in California. Newsom purportedly asked his team to develop a proposal for a, quote, data dividend for Californians, stressing that we recognize your data has value and it belongs to them. Now, this data dividend basically will take all the money your data is capable of making. Instead of giving it back to you, though, they develop basically a government fund of it and keep the money and decide what to do with it. Right. Exactly. Whereas, again, I get it. I get why he's doing it as a bureaucrat. And he might even have like the most positive motives. Like, hey, we can make this extra fun for all of you. But I'd rather you just enforce a law where we have control of our own data and we can sell it as we want. So that the government doesn't even have to be involved in that sale, right?
And you can make the payments in crypto.
So that's what I mean by that kind of double edge. So I get what he's trying to do. This is actually a great step in the right direction so people understand how much their data is worth. But I don't agree with the fact of him just basically sidestepping all the individuals in the private sector saying, but we'll take it all. We'll take over it for you. We'll let you know what we do with the money.
You know what's best for your money.
Like, nah, I get the money and then we can decide together as a group. So, that was pretty interesting.
Good old Gavin.
More government though.
He's a slippery one.
I know, right? That's why he's the governor though. He know how
to slick it back and get on TV.
CFTC's first published 2019 exam priorities reveal major cryptocurrency focus, as well as CFTC official argues against SEC grounds for disapproving Bitcoin ETFs.
Man, stop pocket watching.
Right. These stories are one of the same reason why we mentioned the governor. Because if you read in between the statements they're making, they are basically telling you, listen, we don't know if it's going to be the CFTC, the SEC, but some government agency is about to take over crypto as much as they can.
Oh yeah. I mean, they've mentioned here they have different crypto related aspects in their division of market oversight, division of swap dealer and intermediary oversight, and division of clearing and risk papers. So that's a lot of stuff going on in the CFTC. But according to the press release, those priorities pertaining to cryptocurrency include cryptocurrency surveillance practices, as well as other market and trading surveillance, including real-time monitoring. So they definitely are trying to keep the manipulation as they so, but they can't even do it in regular markets. So I don't understand exactly what they're trying to do. But as far as regulation goes, CFTC has put out this report stating how they will do it, how they can surveil crypto, and then at the same time, they've come back and said, yeah, the SEC doesn't know what they're talking about, so they're butting heads. But either way, somebody's gonna get paid off of this. So that is the end game I see from CFTC so far.
CryptoKey says 2019, the year of the stablecoin, the new ICO for banks and corps. We already talked about that. It's called the stablecoin stimulus package.
Yep, the rich man's ICO.
Yeah, it's the rich man's ICO. We stayed that. I think it was toward the end last year, beginning of this year. So we had the ICO was like for us regular folks. Then you had the blockchain stimulus package. That's for companies for the most part, like your mid-level. Kodak company, Kodak blockchain, Long Island iced teas. That's the blockchain stimulus package. This year, yes, we fully moved in, and last year was that, but this year we fully moved into the stablecoin stimulus package. That's only for your billionaires. I mean, that's for people who already have a good amount of money working for them. But it's happening.
But I mean, because think about it. If you got 100 million, why not just convert that into
you can flip that
digital coins and then just charge a 2% fee?
It's no loss. Listen, you got to think like this too. If you're a multi-millionaire, let's say at least 90 million plus, 100 million plus, that's not wealthy still to a lot of people. That's rich, that's well off, but it's not wealthy. When you're talking about billionaires. But let's say you got $90 million. You have enough money. Let's say you're going to put 10 to 15 million away for a legal team. Now, that's a serious legal team, right? 10 to 15 million dollars. You're not going to jail, right? You can probably do something on camera.
You got an army.
Right. But let's say you do that, and then with another 30 or 40 mil, you jump into the crypto market, which has no real rules or laws, and you have this $15 million legal team behind you. Oh, you're throwing 40 million on the wall. I'm about to get 100, 200 million back like overnight. So
exactly, and even better is if you have a bank which uses fractional reserve
across
you don't even got to have the cash
across the planet.
Yeah, you don't even got to have the cash in the bank. You can just throw the digital coins out there. Yeah, we got 100 million worth. We're gonna audit us. Yeah, we Yeah, come on.
So yeah, it's definitely a stablecoin stimulus package happening. Yeah. You know what? I get like you said, they slick back. They are good, man.
Hey, man they are good.
They know how to trick you about some money. That's all I'm gonna say. That's real.
Hopefully, people listen to us more than they listen to them.
Right. But going back to the CFTC, whenever I hear all this stuff, like you said, they're doing the cryptocurrency surveillance practice, the market and trading surveillance, all this real-time monitoring. Remember, they're all trying to monitor surveillance. First, for what? And then second, which is actually first, when did we vote? That is my question almost every story that came out the last 48 hours. It's
I
like,
remember this.
when do we vote on this? Everyone wants to trick you into democracy and stuff, and the United States, and you drinking the Kool-Aid, and you believe everybody's our enemy and everybody's a terrorist, but it's like, we're not voting on anything either, people.
Yeah, we have no say in any of these dealings. We
Like,
vote for one person, they go into a room, and then they argue with 100 other people.
Right.
What is that?
We got somebody in there who's, what, 70 plus or something. I don't know how old, they are. And clearly cryptocurrency isn't anyone's really priority unless it comes to making the money of it. So my thing is, whenever we see all this stuff, like, who voted to use our taxpayer money on these meetings to talk about a cryptocurrency surveillance practice? What?
Hey, we don't believe you. You need more people.
Exactly.
In the words of the great philosopher Sean Carter.
But listen, CFTC, I'm not mad at you. Again, I've been in the military before. I've seen all the tricks of the trade. Training mission. Hey, listen, that is a great way to get to whatever country you're trying to go to for a nice little week or two vacation. All right, just throw some training in there and make sure you meet up with some other officers for a couple days. You're good to go. As well, that story we talked about the CFTC official, which is arguing against the SEC grounds for disproving Bitcoin ETFs.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, folks, my thought was, without getting into too much detail of this story, the arguing between the CFTC and the SEC is like the Democrats and Republicans arguing.
Yeah.
All right. At the end of the day, it's government.
Yeah. They still gonna make money off it.
All the stuff that's just to mix you up. Listen. The more they argue, the more they can hold off decisions on both ends when it comes to ETFs or CFTCs, wherever they're trying to plan. They can hold those decisions off another 6 to 12 months and have a legitimate reason by saying, well, we're trying to argue and figure this out, when really the entire reason is to buy the government and private companies like JPMorgan more time. That is literally it.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I think CFTC is really just, hey, SEC, let this ETF go through so we can monitor all this trading and surveillance activity. Come on, man. You do for us, we do for you. But, at this current time, they throw each other's names. Like Pierce is called a crypto mom, and come on, man.
Right.
It's all,
you said they
garbage.
Call it, right.
Yeah, it's all garbage to try. They call Giancarlo crypto dad.
It's like, who?
Yeah,
I don't know.
We don't know you.
You
man.
pulled the
what
one Twitter comment from a staff worker on your team that
posted it and pinned it to your profile.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're a crypto mom and dad. Get out of here, man.
Right. So this has been pretty interesting to see as well. But again,
it's corny.
And not only that, let's say that this commissioner, because it was a commissioner from the CFTC that called him out. Let's say that this was a real call out about an ETF. Well, what would make a CFTC commissioner so up and bothered about a certain ETF or a certain company not getting passed through? I wonder. Do you want to go work for them one day? Have you already worked for them? Have you already invested? I feel like I need to ask all three of these questions before we figure out why you're so vehemently all of a sudden mad at the SEC for this one ETF. So that was pretty interesting to see. But again, at this point, we don't believe in conspiracies in the crypto environment. All you got to do is follow the blockchain. That's the good thing about it.
Oh, yeah.
More government. We're actually going to Indonesia this time.
Let's take it on to Indonesia.
$70 million capital requirement for Bitcoin futures sparks anger. Well, I love this guy throwing his fists down.
No broke boys allowed.
What is going on with this story? Because I glanced over it, but I don't believe it. What's going on with this story?
Oh, man. Well, of course, traders are unhappy because they have basically in Indonesia said, you need 70 million to even talk to us, which is an astounding number because most traders, they would like to see a futures product on the market because even though crypto is available to everybody, some of the institutional, more seasoned traders want to invest using futures. And their biggest thing is, okay, cool. Well, if we can get it passed through the government, we cool. And they said, oh, hold on a second. Do you have $70 million to even come in front of us and give us an idea?
$70 million to do futures in Indonesia?
Come on, man. $70 million. So, this price, I think, comes from their thinking of, okay, well, if you want something so bad, which has been expressed, cool, you're going to have to pay for it. So what I think will have to happen is they'll have to not have it for a while, and Bitcoin will have to take off, and then they'll say, okay, we don't want to be left behind. All right.
Oh, okay.
1 million. Okay, all right. You know what I mean? Like it'll basically. I think they just started high, so they would basically discourage.
They're trying to find a baseline.
Yeah. They just discourage anybody who's not,
who has money.
Yeah, because who has 70 million liquid anyway? Like, right. I mean, that's a very select few people. So I think they're basically just rounding up the small group of people that have that money. It's like, look, this is how much it costs. If you want to get in first, get your proposals in, cool. And then if we lower the price or down the road, if people raise the money, they can do it. But right now, no. And you can't do it.
The biggest objectors, the reason why this is so big, they're noting that, and this is an article This dwarfs the equivalent capital needed to begin trading traditional commodities, which is 2.5 billion rupiah, which is $178,000.
Wow.
So to do a traditional futures contract in Indonesia is 178,000, which by the way is pretty expensive as well. They definitely made a baseline of that. But to do it for Bitcoin, it's $70 million. People, again, when did they vote on this?
Yeah.
For $70 million, if I have $70 million in Indonesia, I'm not asking you for permission to launch a futures. In fact, you might have to resign your seat by the end of this week when I put this money to work. So what are you talking about? Like, how is this? I don't understand how this is even becoming a story.
Yeah, the only way I would see them reconciling this is if, for one, it's a exchange, and they're saying it's $70 million for the exchange, and the exchange has to be worth $70 million, not give them $70 million.
Regardless, how
but
could
even
they
still,
even,
that's a lot. You know, $70 million is pretty big for smaller exchanges or for smaller groups who may want to get in. So that liquidity that they're looking for is honestly ridiculous.
But see, here's the issue that we have with any regulation, people, which is why we say self-regulation. All these people call for regulation are just trying to mitigate their risk because they don't want to do the due diligence or fall on their butt. Plain and simple. They don't want to fall on their butt when it comes to trading and all that. But the bottom line is, like, regardless of if you say, well, the government will be good in this part. This is why it's never good, because it's a slippery slope. One day it's, all right, well, 175,000 is like, oh, they went for that? All right, the next day it's 70 million. Yeah. Like you said, we're going to see who's going to go for it. Nobody goes for it? All right, we'll bring it down to 45.
Yeah.
Oh, we got 3? We can live off 3 the next couple of years. All right, a couple of years went by. All right, we'll go down to 20 million.
Exactly.
The point is that it is a slippery slope. And the same thing here in the U.S. So whenever you hear that person saying, well, we need more regulation, we need more of this, be careful, because once they're in the door, it's not like one person, one government, one Mr. Smith from the Matrix comes in and closes. No, what happens? They bring 1 million of them in. It's like, all right, well, let me bring my boys IRS in on this job. I need the SEC to help me with this. I need the CFTC to help me on this.
Bring an IMF.
You don't want to help out? Well, then I'm gonna need the police and I'm gonna need the ATF. You know what I mean? It's like, where's
flying Warren Buffett?
Where does it stop? So, I would rather be in this industry self-regulating, because places like this, we got Crypto Blood reports the news. You got Crypto O who does things. There are enough people that are out there showing you the good and bad actors. So be careful what you wish for, like you said.
Absolutely.
But 70 million, huh?
Man, they smoking Indo in Indonesia.
Too funny.
They think somebody giving them 70. Man, no.
What? If you're, again, 70 million Indonesia, literally just move a little bit northeast, northwest, excuse me, to Cambodia. You can chill out there with that 70 million and have like 100 exchanges.
Right, get a futures contract with $70.
Right. Coinbase gives out $30,000 reward for detecting critical bug. What is going on with Coinbase, and what's up with this bug?
Oh man, well, this bug that they have given out the $30,000 reward for is unknown. However, I do want to state that at least they paid the money, simply because we have seen some projects that give out bug bounties and they have trouble paying, or they don't give out a good amount, Tron or EOS, it's a couple of those. But Coinbase, for a great reward system, it implies that the recently detected bug was quite serious in terms of severity and vulnerability. Specifically, the bounty system provides a $200 reward for low bug cases, $2,000 for medium flaws, $15,000 for high vulnerabilities, and $50,000 for critical impact. So it was somewhere. So it was basically 2 high vulnerabilities that they found, in price points. So according to their bug bounty system, critical impact vulnerabilities are described as system loopholes that allow attackers to read or modify sensitive data. So these things can happen. So if you have your data on Coinbase, if there's a data leak or if something goes awry, just know that it can happen. And 30,000 to me isn't enough, because if that vulnerability happens and they could lose billions, then honestly, if you just gave me 10% of what you could lose, I should be a millionaire instantly.
But you give me 30,000.
Give me 30,000.
Oh, okay. So you want me to go other places with this information next time?
Yeah, but somebody's always going to take the money. Right. So that's the one thing that these prices. This is the reason they put these prices. They only need one person that's good at it to take the money, which they always find 1 or 2. So for Coinbase, they're trying to keep their platform safe. But shout out to them for actually paying the money. But I would like to know what that vulnerability was. More transparency would be nice.
And same thing, I want to piggyback on that. Like, what's going on here? That's how you know they're not with the community anymore. Yeah. Like, why aren't you being transparent about what the flaw was? You're going to keep everybody in the dark, So To me, that says a lot about the direction they're going. That's that old school banking mentality where no, nothing to see here. It's just scoot along. I mean, I'm sure if the bounty wasn't 30,000, we probably wouldn't even heard of it. You know, they wouldn't even talked about it. So
and I'm sure somebody in marketing scooted this out like, hey, mention the fact that we got, we are giving away some money.
And knowing Coinbase now with the team they have, they probably whoever accepted it, they probably had to sign an NDA. You're not going to talk about this at all.
At all. Not even using your name.
Right. But again, that is literally showing you who they are. I'm not sure. And to me, I don't think they're bringing in all these. They brought in a TD Ameritrade exec. They're bringing in all these old execs from different companies, these traditional companies. I don't think they understand that isn't the wave here. As far as hey, if you actually say what it is, more people will like you and want to use your service.
Yeah,
it's almost like they're trying to drive away more customers. They're like, we have too many already. We don't want to deactivate accounts anymore, so we're just trying to pee you off and make you leave. But
absolutely,
I don't think they understand that.
Shout out to Ryan Cooper. Uphold over Coinbase. Oh yeah, uphold Warriors. What's up?
All right. Other than that, what are we doing for the free cryptic coin today?
So for the free cryptic coin, please leave every comment, thought, idea you have about the JPMorgan coin. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you think the impact will be? Will it get rid of Ripple and Swift? Do you think crypto can fight back? What are your thoughts on that? Make sure you put your cryptic coin address, and we'll send those funds to you on Friday.
As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like and share button. And again, if you want to check out our further predictions we had back in 2017, check out episode 6 on our Gentlemen of Crypto playlist.
Yeah, it's Throwback Thursday.
It is Throwback Thursday.
Go back to some throwbacks. Watch some of my early shows where we film straight off the phone.
It looks hilarious too, by the way. Cheers.
Have a good one.